My name is Chidima Eggbinedun, and you're probably wondering why I look so upset. Before I give you the backstory, I'll plead with you guys to please subscribe, like, hit the bell button so that you get notified each time I post a new video and all that good stuff. Let's get right into the video. I was strolling down on the streets of Instagram and then I saw a food blogger posted the process of making some egg rolls, and I thought to myself, I definitely can do this. I have all the ingredients. I have flour, I have sugar, I have butter and all that good stuff, so why not? And then your girl started watching some YouTube videos, or just basically scouting through YouTube to check to see how people prepared their own egg rolls. I watched multiple videos, and by the time I was done watching these videos, I was convinced that I could go ahead. That's how I brought up my ingredients: my eggs, my sugar, nutmeg, baking powder. I got butter, I got salt. What else did I have? Basically, I assembled all my ingredients together and I boiled my eggs, put them on fire to boil while I was getting other things ready. At this point, I was feeling very confident, broke my eggs, basically just showing you the process. Put some milk into it, beat the eggs and the milk together. I added more milk because I wasn't sure that it was sufficient. Got my flour, got my nutmeg. I started mixing my dry ingredients together. I put some baking powder, but I think this is where everything started to go south. I kept putting baking powder and more baking powder and more baking powder. Now I am putting sugar, yes, still including my dry ingredients. I just kept putting sugar. You guys, I don't know what's happening. I was sure putting the sugar, and next thing I decided to mix all of them together with my bare hands. Mixing. And at this point, I started mixing. I added the butter and started trying to, I think butter is like a binding agent or something. I was just trying to like mix the butter into the dry ingredients, the flour and the other dry ingredients mixture. Because I was sure that at this point I should have the texture of breadcrumbs. So I kept like mixing. I think at some point I felt like the butter was not enough, so I added some more butter and kept working my fingers through it to see if I could achieve the breadcrumbs texture. And I think I was getting there. It wasn't so bad. Yeah, it was just taking a longer time than I expected. So I kept doing this. You guys, this is what I did though until I got satisfied. Now I poured my egg mixture, the egg and milk mixture, and I started working my fingers through it. At this point, I did not realize that my bowl was halfway out of the camera frame, and that's why it's looking this way. Anyway, so I started mixing because I was trying to get that doughy texture, if that's even an English word. So kept working my way through it with my fingers, kept turning, mixing. And I think I later added some more of the egg and milk mixture because this stuff was just not coming together. And I'm like, okay, maybe you need some more liquid. Kept turning. No, not turning, basically kneading. I guess that's the word. I was kneading until they started looking put together. And at this point, I was so proud of myself. I was like, a mini, a whole baker, food blogger, yeah. And I just kept mixing, kneading, mixing. See you guys, at this point, there's nothing you could tell me that this egg roll was not going to come out perfect. In fact, I was already bragging. I was even thinking of how I'm going to start the egg roll business in this UK and just put like a big banner in front of my house and say, you guys, order your egg roll only on Thursdays. Very hot egg rolls. Anyways, guys. So if you see my shoulder pad when I was mixing this thing, my shoulder pad was like way up there. And from the video I watched, I know I was supposed to like do this for a while and then leave it, cover it up and allow it to sit for like 10-15 minutes. So that's what I did though. I covered it and I allowed it to sit for, I think I left it for like 15 minutes. I just set it aside. I was just trying to see that it was covered properly. Then I checked my eggs. At this time my eggs were done, so I just peeled the eggs. I planned to just make 6 egg rolls. I didn't want to make too much because I didn't know what I would do with the rest if it didn't turn out fine. So this is me just peeling the eggs and setting them aside while waiting at the same time for the doughy thingy mixture to be ready. So this egg looks so beautiful. As usual, clean your working surface. And then I got back to my dough and it's looking good. Like it's looking perfect. It's looking amazing. You guys, I started wrapping the eggs with the dough, and it looked okay. It looked really fine. It looked perfect in my opinion. Mark my words, in my opinion, it looked perfect. So I just molding it. There were times where I would mold it and like cover up the eggs, and I would still see that some parts were like breaking open. And I'm like, is this normal? Well, then again, I didn't know what was normal and what was abnormal because I've never done this before. So, you guys, I was basically repeating the same process for the rest of the 5 eggs, as you guys can see. Mixing, turning, mixing, turning. I think I was just more concerned about the shape. Like I wanted it to be really round and perfect. So you'd see that I would just keep rolling and basically adjusting and touching and just ensuring that it was really circular in shape, because I was like, this first egg roll, it just has to be lit. It has to be like the best I've ever done. So I don't know, maybe it's the perfectionist in me. I was just so obsessed with the shape. I can literally look at it and just mold and mold and mold and mold and mold. And I'm not thinking to myself, all the egg rolls I've eaten in this life, were they really perfect? Like, did they have like the perfect circular shape? So why was I so obsessed with ensuring that this egg roll was very round and very perfect and very smooth, like the one I showed you in the picture at the beginning of this video? I don't know, man, but something in my head just told me that this thing has to be perfect. So I was just there fighting it. I was literally fighting what was not fighting me. Guys, just watch me. Like, now watching this video, looking back at how I was fooling myself, I'm just like, why were you really stressing? Did you really need to go through all of this? And to what end? What were you trying to prove? You're not a baker. You've never done this before, so why did you really, really expect that you would achieve perfection? And then again, looking back, I'm just thinking like I will just behaving like Pinky and the Brain, because what? Anyways, guys, so yeah, I think the last one was basically molding the last one and putting the egg inside. I was already gingering and doing my press up because I was going to start frying like in a few minutes. So I was already preparing the testimony of how I'll show all my friends and family members that your girl is now a baker. Like, now I can make egg rolls. Now you guys can place your orders. When I have the time, I would make egg rolls for your events, parties, and stuff like that. If I don't laugh at myself, who will? I set my oil on fire and I let it get hot. At this point, I was confused. I didn't know if it was hot enough or not, but I just decided to throw the first one inside and see how it would turn out. But it looks like the oil was not that hot, so I don't know. But either ways, I was already sick and tired of the waiting, so I was like, here goes nothing, guys. And I threw it in, and at this point, I was just like, what's going on? This thing is not frying. Like, it just, I don't know. I couldn't explain it, but I was ready to see this through, like, down to the end. I was even thinking maybe I could fry 3 and then put the other 3 in the oven, basically bake the other one in the oven. But I think I changed my mind and eventually fried all 6 of them. And I was looking at the texture. The thing was just looking funny. It's like, why are you burning already? Like, you've not even been in the pot, in the frying pan for a long time and you're already like burning. Like, how? What's wrong with you? So I was just turning it because I remember that in the YouTube video I watched, the person kept on like turning and just basically moving it around in the pan. And I was like, you got this, girl, just keep doing this, it's definitely going to come out well. Just keep doing what you're doing, I was just giving myself motivational talk. Ladies and gentlemen, please see what I ended up with.